So in this video, I'm going to give you my first impression on Claude. I've been actually avoiding signing up for Claude for a while. If you don't know what Claude is the alternative to ChatGPT. To give you a little bit background and some context, I think it was the CTO and or the sort of one of the highly technical people that was responsible for ChatGPT. In the interview that I watched with him, he actually left ChatGPT because he had some concerns about safety and some of the process around sort of privacy and that sort of deal, and left ChatGPT, or OpenAI is the actual name of the company. And what ended up happening is they started their own business, and that business is now called Claude. So they have the same internal knowledge, more or less, as what the ChatGPT team has. And anyway, so in this video, I've been avoiding it for a while just because I wanted to kind of hyper focus on one model for a while, truly understand it, understand sort of the ins and outs, what's going on, so that when I switch over to another model, I can have some real world comparison perspective. And so as a result, that was the reason why I kind of sort of stayed back from the conversation around Claude. However, in this video, we're going to do a quick sort of like just raw first impression on what I think about Claude. And I've already started the process. I've already sort of gone through sort of the initial sign up. With the first of all, they ask you to sign up with a confirmation of a mobile phone number. So you need to put a phone number inside of there to get validation. I think I actually tried this before, and it was only allowed in US based customers, but now I'm in Canada and it seems to be working fine. So great. So but we'll say that like just the onboarding flow is kind of like that TypeScript type of flow. So if you're not familiar with Typeform, Typeform has that sort of Typeform feel where sort of this sort of like you kind of step through the process. I don't know if you're familiar with Typeform, but if you are, if not, it's a fantastic way to kind of like a wizard walk people through the onboarding process. So there you have it. So what can I help you with today? Now, I'm actually interested in one thing because I saw on Twitter that you can actually do UI designs, and there's a very specific UI design. Oh, my camera just went. Hang on a second, guys. 1 second. Camera just went. What's going on? Camera just freaked out. Pause. Sorry, my camera just went there, not certain what happened. I'm on my backup camera, so if the color is all off, just ignore it. Anyway, let's just get back to business. So, happy late night. Yes, it is late night here. So, what I want to do in this particular video is I want to actually build a UI. And I saw a guy on Twitter posted that he was able to build a UI in a fairly short manner. So, we're going to do this. We're not going to start with the basics and anything like the sort. What I'm going to do is I'm going to whiteboard a UI that I have, which I had this concept in my head about a UI that I'd like to build for being able to make sales calls better. So that's kind of one of the goals that I have with this platform. So, and I'm just going from off the top of my head. I actually have a little more details in my notes, but I'm not going to even do that right now. So what I'll do is I'm going to just free for all this, and you know what, we're going to compare this with ChatGPT as well too. So here's my overall. What I'm thinking is I want to have a frame here. Should we do it all the way up? We're going to do something like this. Iframe. Okay. And then we're going to put a bar here. URL. Oops, sorry guys. That's my wake up alarm, 4 a.m. So, URL. Okay. And then on this side, we're going to have contact info. Info. Okay, so it's like this, and then we're gonna have notes, name, phone, etc. Right? Notes, and then we're gonna have a button that says previous. And one that says next. Okay, so that's basically the UI. So general UI, it's what I have in my head right now. So that's what we're gonna go with, and then we'll go from there. And there's the more details, but I'll drop that in later on just to kind of go. Okay, so let's just give it to this bad boy and see what it could do. We're not starting off with basics at all. So I'm gonna say first of all, I want to paste that in. I'm gonna say I'm building a new sales. What do you call that? Sales call Kellen UI that will allow people to make calls, make salespeople to make calls fast. The idea is to have website, have all the information to be able to make a call in one place, and website, the prospect website, load the prospect website. Right. So create your instructions now. Create a UI using Tailwind and Vue, because that's my favorite programming language right now. Vue.js that will allow me to use the image as a guide. I'm looking for pixel perfect accuracy. Sure. Okay, that's my prompt. All right. So let's copy that, because we're going to do the same thing with ChatGPT, just for the sake of a fair comparison between the two. Even though this is my first impression and it's not a comparison video. Press enter. Let's see what it's got. So I understand you're going to create a UI with Tailwind, blah, 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 blah. So people have said that there's like a side panel that you could get. Something with a side panel here. Somebody showed me a side panel. I'm not seeing that on mine. Maybe it's because I don't have a Pro. So this code will provide you the instructions you'll need to add functionality such as dynamic loading, prospect handling, previous, next button, etc., etc. Okay, so this is a UI. Okay, so great. So this is a basic component. So it didn't actually. Claude doesn't have the ability to run the code it generated yet. So copy, subscribe to Pro for 5x more usage. Sonnet, subscribe to Pro. Okay, we don't want to subscribe right this minute. So let's run this. So first we need to, so let me just start. How do I install it? All right. Make sure it gives us all the instructions so we have a fair comparison. And then in the meantime, we're going to go here, we're going to go to doing finish, we're going to go to test UI, test sales UI, let's call it that. Here, CODE, oops, CODE Oops, I'm sorry. I'm going crazy today. Let's see. Right, file, open. Nope, that's fine. And let's just do a, so we should have some instructions now on how to make this happen. So of course, run dev. All right, so let's do, yeah, okay. So project npm install. So this is what we need first. I'll ignore all these errors that I got on my screen. This is just because I was trying to do some work before on it. Okay, so that's been installed. JSX. No. Single page application. Yes. Pinya, yes. Feature test for unit testing right now. No. 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 Sure. Okay. So what else? npm install. Let's make sure we're in the right. Okay, we have to change the project because I opened folder. Okay. Now we're in the right folder. And let's do a oops, let's do this. All right, got that. Go back, get this one. Got that. Install npx, create a tailwind config, sure. Okay. And tailwind config. What was there before? What did they give me? Okay, so slightly different format here. So I'm just gonna take this. Yeah, and then let's see what else. Assets, main. So we got source, we got assets, main, and we want to import these guys. Oops. Sure, and then what do you got? Import and use your components. So sales call in UI. Interestingly, skip the scale call in UI part, but sure. Let's just create a page and then we'll just go from there. So we'll just go to public. No, we'll go to views and then we'll just put it here. It doesn't really matter. Actually, we'll just put it on the home page. Even better. So let's just go to this copy. And go back here. Template. They've swapped the script part around, but that's fine. Don't need this either. Let's just go with that and see what happens. npm hit enter, hit H plus enter. Archer, wait, what? What is all this? You did it. Okay, so okay, so this is using the template thing from let me just think about this for a second. So why is this doing this in the app folder? Router, hello world. You did it. Okay, so we just need to get rid of this wrapper around here. Get rid of all this. Get rid of all this. Okay, so it this might be a view thing as to why it with 100% nav. Let's get rid of all this style and scope here. Yeah, I'm not certain why it's showing up. I'm not certain why it's showing up sort of like this, but it did the right thing, right? We got a browser here, we got name and phone thing. Okay, so let's just compare that to ChatGPT and see what happens. And I'm just to be fair, I'm going to put it in the same code block, or you know what I'll do is I'll just put it over here in the about us. So about view. So that's this guy, and then we have about view, which has nothing right now. Great. Okay, so go to ChatGPT. We'll do the exact same thing. We'll come back and put the results in. So let's just do compete this guy. Now I'm on ChatGPT 4.0 and this is Pro, but it shouldn't be a difference as far as I know, because I think the free version of Claude will give me the best version and it'll just cap me, I think. So let's see. By the way, that was Windows Shift S, if you don't know how to do that. Windows Shift S, and that will give you a ability to do a screen share, screen capture right away. Screen. Okay, so let's go here, paste the same thing, submit. Let's see if this does a better job. So right away, it gave me the instructions on how to set up the installation right away, which is great. Install Tailwind CSS. The instructions for doing that, give me that right away. I didn't have to ask for it, so that's fantastic. That's good. Create app. Now, mind you, this is version 2 details. This is view 2 details. I know that for sure because of this, but that's okay. We'll go just to code. Yeah, see, this is version 2 details. So it's giving me an older thing. Now, interestingly enough, this is actually giving me some details and things. So let's just tell it I'm using view 3. I'm just going to ignore the fact that I use. So interestingly enough, this so on the script side, this, I think this is view 3 for sure. I'm almost certain of it. Yeah. Whereas the other one just assumed that I was going to be using view 2. Okay, so let's go. Come on. Hurry up, Mr. ChatGPT. All right, so finally finish. Just gonna click on copy, put that over, put that in here, paste. Oops, don't want to do that. We want to paste the whole thing over. Paste. And then with hot model to reload, we should have an about view. We should have an about view. Let me stop the terminal, run it again. Oh, maybe it's maybe I don't need to put view, or maybe I just need to put about. There we go. Interesting. So what do we think, guys? So look at this. So this did a better job visually from a UI standpoint. It feels cleaner, feels like a cleaner UI. This one here, it's a little bit more rough, right? Not as polished. However, it did put, it understood the concept of your contact info will have a text field and a UI field, whereas this one just basically just said, no, just here's your name and field. So what I like the design aspect of this, with the fact that it actually put paddings and it actually, right, like it feels better from a UI standpoint to ignore the fact that it's space an issue. Even the curves, the drop shadow, everything. Let me just double check if this is, they actually did this. Let me just double check. So let me just see where that shadow is coming from. So that shadow is coming from min height background gray, and that's right on the app. So I think that's actually coming from Claude itself. So let's just double check. So if I go home, yep, that's coming from them, min height gray. So let me just take away this class for a second. Let's just see what happens. There, yes. So it's definitely pulling from thing, and then max with 6x. Yeah, so I think this is what's controlling the width, right? So I don't know, 6. So yeah, okay, there we go. So it was at 6. So let's just double it and see what happens. Oops, that didn't work. Let's get rid of that. See what happens. Interesting. Okay, that's neither here nor there for this conversation. So, more functionality, less design. Better design, less functionality. So I don't know, guys. It's a toss-up. Well, you know what? I would go with the design. Just purely based on aesthetics, I would go with the design first because it gets me closer to where I'd like to go. Right? I think so. So anyway, that's my first impression of Claude. The UI is great. I like the color scheme. I like everything about it. It's pretty good. Like it's clean. Now they told me that you saw somewhere that it could run code on the side. It could generate a bunch of stuff, but so start chats you use often. Okay, that's cool. So free plan. Yeah, so I'm gonna play around with Claude a little bit more. I'm gonna do some comparison, and I'll try to see if I could understand what are the real true differences between these two platforms. And I'll have some more opinions about this later on, but this is just a first impression, just across the board. Thank you for your time. If you got some value out of this video, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you.